Hello community, my name's Paul Mills from Raptoreum Core, and here we have Hunter Schultz, who is the head of production for Raptoreum. And in today's Raptor ChainReaction video, we are talking about hidden assets tapping into your brand's vault.
That's right, Paul. We're going to talk about what brand managers can find laying around the office in a hidden cupboard or a file cabinet. Little background here, we've been talking with a band manager who is also a performer. He has like 4 or 5 bands that he manages, and he performs in 2, and he's the lead singer of 1. And so we've been chatting with him. We'll probably chat with him this coming week about doing some things with assets for his realm. But he works with a record label, which in turn works with an even bigger organization. And when I did a little research on this record label, I uncovered a blog post or an interview with someone there who said they have this huge warehouse, or a big warehouse in LA, with an enormous amount of memorabilia, photos, recordings, tapes, you name it. And it's just sitting there. And they go in and they look at it every now and then, but it's sitting there. Creative community has a lot like that, a lot of examples. So we're going to be exploring that. Music is something that we're definitely exploring. And you can see it from the blog posts that we've done on The Lion Sleeps Tonight and the shows we've done. But this show is more for brand managers. And brand managers are the very creative folks who are concerned with a lot of different areas of the brands they work with, whether it's a Nike or a Ferrari or whomever. So one of the things that we want to encourage, and we're going to focus on, is enabling brand managers to look at their clients or their companies from a different perspective. And that's looking around that business and saying, where are the hidden assets? Because now you can do things with assets, things, if you will, digitizing things that you wouldn't have thought, because now you have all new realms to work with in the digital world. So you can combine things. There's all sorts of the enormous amount of creativity, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch this. But we, as a blockchain, enable them to do it securely, which we've talked about. They have confidence that what they do is protected, and we're working on a number of different avenues right now to make that process easier. So I think, Paul, let's chat about some of the creative things. So you're walking around your office and there's a file cabinet over there no one's touched in 20 years, and it's got stuff in it. Well, now you can look at it and go, can we create a story out of this? What do you think from this?
I think absolutely. I think most companies, businesses have history, and that history is part of it's the process of how the consumer got to and how the business got to where it is. So it tells a story, and that story is really important to people because consumers like to see the bigger picture of a brand to make a full decision on actually interacting with that brand. And it means a lot to people to evaluate that history and to possibly treasure that history or have a piece of that history in their hands. And it was previously difficult for brands to actually give access to this sort of history to an end user in a way where it's delivered in a way they're comfortable with, because obviously as time progresses, business practices change, designs change, creativity changes, but to preserve it in a piece that can be delivered to the consumer in a digital way is definitely worth its weight in gold. As Hunter was saying earlier, there's, back in the day when some of these things were actually created, there was no blockchain, there was no way of delivering these assets in a digital way that's effective and immutable, and there was no way of actually giving decentralized value to these items on external marketplaces for consumers to collect and treasure. So it really gives a totally a new touch on the way to handle this sort of valuable assets to a business or company, and really generate interest and connectivity with consumers in brand new ways.
Yeah, if you think about it, towards the extreme end of this, they create movies about brands. Apple, Jobs, the movie Jobs, with Ashton Kutcher, I think, who played Steve Jobs,
Mm-hmm.
and that backstory. And branding was really important to him. I think it'd be kind of cool. We have a new blog post that just went up. Well, it just went up.
Yeah, just went up.
So
When's this
just went
video
up.
going
Yeah.
out? When's this one going out?
It's going out soon.
ASAP.
Soon. Not soon, but soon, okay? For those playing the home game, Thun has a completely different meaning from soon. So I think it'd be kind of cool to go through. There's a section in that blog post, and I encourage people. We'll have a link in the description for the post. And it's even though it's geared for brand managers, if you don't have a brand manager, and you are the brand manager, you're the one, it's your brand, it's you as a creator of anything, whether it's a YouTube video, an Instagram, or music. It's a good idea to have a look at this, because there's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts, and there's a lot of opportunity here that has not been explored, and even we are discovering things. And I think it would be good, there's part of this blog post is about hidden assets. And one of the examples was the record label. And I'm reading my notes, and a couple of things were unreleased tracks, backstage footage. And in the industry, you can, in video and video, TV production, you have B-roll,
Yeah.
which is where you're doing scenic shots and things that an editor is going to put in. But now B-roll can take on, there's tons of B-roll that's never used, ever used, that could tell a story.
I mean,
hand that to an
B-roll
editor.
used to be. Sorry for butting in, but it used to
Sure.
be a popular thing. You used to be out back in the day when you had a VCR, and you could buy the actual gig, and then you would have a B-roll tape which you could buy as well, and that was a really popular thing back then. But none of this was digital. All of this stuff is lost in the realm, and a lot of it from back in the days is just simply not accessible on YouTube or anything like that. And I think this sort of thing is ripe for connecting to digital assets. So yeah,
And then
I agree, Hunter.
what we can do with that is, again, a whole new. We have virtual reality. We have, creating a whole new world around the band, or the whatever the creator's realm is, whether it's underwater or mountain climbing or whatever. There's a lot of possibilities here. And another one was to go off in a completely different track. Fashion brands. Talk about a visual medium. Whether it's footage from shows, designs that were never used, and what was the backstory behind that. And that's where some of the, if you're a brand manager, I'd be walking around looking for people with gray hair in the business like me, who've been around a long time, and frankly they're getting kind of rare. It's kind of sad, but these are the people who know where the bodies are buried. They know where stuff that we haven't looked at. We haven't looked at that in 20 years, and it's over in a file cabinet. There's a whole storeroom over there. We probably haven't even opened that room in gosh knows how long. If I'm a brand manager, my ears just went, what? what could be there, because now I have a new outlet. Now I have a new way of looking at this stuff. And what can I create from it that's new and different and immersive and can take people into the backstory? We go from the backstory to the front story to the future. There's so
Yeah.
many possibilities here. It's not even funny.
I'm thinking, like Gucci bags. They're so popular right now. All the ladies want a Gucci bag, don't they? They've got a Gucci bag. They like showing it off. But imagine being able to, for a lady, being able to buy that bag and then seeing, because obviously the designs evolve over time, and the original design, the original sketch, they could actually get it with that bag, and it could be a bag from an original sketch from like the 1950s, and it could actually show the different sketches along the way to where it got to the modern version of that bag and what improvements were made over the time. So that might please the ladies, having that connected to their bag, and that asset is obviously also transferable with the bag. And as we know, Gucci bags do sell for a lot of money, and having that provenance next to it is excellent for brand managers to keep that information running through their assets, whether it's real world assets or digital assets. Everything can be connected.
Everything in this article, we have some other articles coming up on the blog. One for investment bankers, and then another more immersive for brand managers, and using some of the tools that my dad developed a long time ago, because he was a creative thinking expert. One of his favorite lines to me growing up is, "Son, everything is related. The big problem is seeing the relationships," which is why creative thinking is so important. So, and brand managers are definitely creative, and you'd be amazed how creative investment bankers can be. So we have two really interesting audiences here. And we have another tool that, actually two tools that these audiences can use, which we will probably in the next couple of blog posts, as well as on the videos, we'll explain how to get them. And for brand managers now, what else is there, like virtual reality? I don't have a VR headset.
But don't you?
No, I don't.
Hunter, you've got to
I
get one.
don't.
You've got to get one.
Wow.
Even though I'm so busy with everything right now, I always make time every single day to go on my VR headset. It's
What do you do with it?
what I do with it. There's lots of different things. Like
Boy,
I
who's this old guy on the show here? Come on. But yeah,
I
I mean, I understand.
chat with friends in real world spaces. You can move your hands and chat with them, and you can go to a cinema and watch a film. You can watch Netflix on there. You can play games. I don't play a lot of games these days, I will admit, but it tends to be more interactive things that I like to do on there. But yeah, VR is absolutely brilliant. I do.
We're only scratching the surface on that, aren't we?
Yeah, you're only scratching the surface, and there's so many people on there now. It's so popular, especially with the Quest 3. When it first came out, people were saying, "Oh, it's going to fail," and it's not going to do any good. But as the time's gone on and they've released new headsets, and the price is more accessible to people, it's becoming more and more popular. And there's now, if we look at the standard flat gaming, I will call it. If we look at the standard flat gaming and the integration with blockchain, with some of these large gaming companies right now, or brand managers in gaming companies, it's only a matter of time before things like this start to enter into VR. And the VR headsets currently, especially the standalone ones, are actually running on a version of Android. So it's really easy to integrate an Android wallet into that VR setting to interact with some of the applications on there. to really further your brand in the VR ecosystem. So that is something that really is definitely something for brands to tap into as the audience is gaining traction over the last couple of years.
I,
Definitely.
I, I recall reading that maybe it was done, maybe it was COVID that forced a lot of people to rethink how they were presenting merchandise and stuff. And I believe the fashion industry started looking at doing VR fashion shows. No audience, just they would maybe plug the audience in,
Hmm.
and you'd watch the fashion show from home, and
Absolutely. I mean,
you just have the models.
you can do that. I think there's been a couple already that have happened in
Mm.
regards to fashion. There's a lot of sports events now, such as the football and Super Bowl, which has been on the VR as well. So you can literally have a front row seat at these events, and it's as if you're sitting there. And the quality now is, it's very good. It's very good. So you're not going to really feel ill when you're actually using it, and it's gonna feel like you're actually there. So, and at some of these events now, they're using cameras that do record in 4D or do stream in 4D, so that can be sent directly to VR headsets to people. So absolutely, catwalks and things like that can happen in VR, and can bring a new audience to that, and then that opens a whole different set of assets with your tickets to watch the event, and then updatable assets, and it's
I
just
just I just thought of something for the fashion world, and the funny thing is, they were 30 years ago, the supermodels were the thing. They displaced actresses as, because the actresses back then were into like, I want to look like an actor. So they all dressed down. They looked almost, well, grunge was a big deal. So anyway, so the only ones with the glamour were the supermodels, which maybe a lot of the younger audience may not even know who they were, but we all knew them by their first names, whether it was Cindy or Naomi or Helena or
mhm.
whatever, but they were icons. Well, they have a brand. They still do. They're still successful. Even today, they have millions. They'll have 1 million followers on Instagram, and so it's kind of interesting that they have all this footage of them. And I'm just thinking out loud, if I'm a fashion house, I could go back to Cindy or Naomi or, boy, any number of them and say, if I can use your body and use AI to put my new clothing on you, what would you charge me for that? And if you're one of their
that's a
managers, I mean,
that's a good idea, because that would then mean that the body as it was at that point in time is then in effect timeless. You know what I'm saying? It's timeless. So
yeah,
once you've created the perfect body, that is value forever.
yeah.
Because,
I just had a funny thought though. You have poor AI is going to have to deal with two of them that come to mind that have a unique walk down the catwalk, and that was Naomi Campbell, and she was like a panther going down there. She had a great walk.
how
They
did
were
she?
known, and Yasmin Guri was the queen of them all. She had a walk that
Hunter
I
seems
have no.
very well versed in these.
Well, my girlfriend back then was into fashion, and I would
Uh,
wind up having to watch the shows, and she'd have the magazines around, and I think I mean, that's just one idea of what you can do in virtual reality, combined with AI, combined with that IP, if you will. All of a sudden,
yeah.
Cindy or whomever, Cindy Crawford um, or Helena Christensen, they can any of them can become
Well, you could
a
combine.
model again.
You could
I mean,
have
they already are, but
you could have the asset for the clothing. You could have the asset for the model, and you could just combine the assets using the wallet. And it doesn't even need to be in VR. VR is obviously better because you can see all directions around, but it can be done
Yeah.
in a 2D setting as well,
Yeah.
right from the wallet in the browser. So it's
Yeah.
definitely possible in various areas, and it will help people to decide on what clothes they want to buy. Definitely.
Well, you can kind of see where creativity can go off and become so much fun for brand managers to look around and look at assets and go, this could be similar in vein to the models or whatever. And you go back to the stars back then and say, it's amazing what AI can do, and it's only getting better. So, yeah, we're knocking on the door again of, but you still have to have secure assets. I mean, you still have to have a secure blockchain to make sure that it doesn't go astray, or you can track it. And we have some things coming up that'll help that. So if you're going to grow with a blockchain, Raptoreum's it. It's as simple as that. There's more coming. So, have anything else you want to add, Paul? Anything that pops into your head?
I could say, whether you are a record label or a fashion brand or a VR developer, we are here to help you get this rolling and to show you some of the possibilities that are available right under your nose, to tap into a new generation that is interested in digital satisfaction. And that's a lot of what business is about these days, especially since COVID, as Hunter was just saying. And especially as technology has advanced, it's a lot more competitive than it is with the traditional high street and physical branding and physical assets. There's a lot more people at home. There's a lot. The younger people are looking for different things. So I think now is an excellent time to really explore these opportunities, especially with cryptocurrency becoming mainstream. We've got government bodies who are taking it on board. So if you don't enter the blockchain space, and you are a brand manager, then I really think that you are losing out as a brand in getting to these new audiences, whether no matter how young they are, because you need to nurture these young audiences from seed to fully grown, to actually make sure you protect your brand's future moving forward in the light of the competitiveness that is emerging. And because this is an emerging technology, there is less competition, so there's more opportunity to actually get your brand noticed. And it's at these small opportunities that mainstay your brand for the longer term into the future, when things are more competitive. And you should know that, being a brand manager already. So absolutely look into tokenizing assets with Raptoreum. It's more secure than many of the other blockchains out there. It's going to be lightning quick with our new update into the Talon wallet. And we will be able to help you integrate into Raptoreum assets. You can either message us at info@raptoreum.com, or send us a message on the Telegram. That's at Raptoreum, but with the double M. We'd be more than pleased to help you out.
Sure. I think there's one thing that I would, in terms of in closing, to say to brand managers, and that is, I know this may seem, it can seem intimidating. It can seem almost overwhelming. But as a wise man once told me, when you're uncomfortable, you're growing. And
That's right.
what you're going to, yeah, what you're going to find, and quite literally, I will be 65 in less than 10 days. So if this gray-haired old guy can get excited and see a lot of possibilities, man, just with all your more modern thinking, if you will, you're going to find so much. There's just a whole world of opportunity. So it's worth it to be uncomfortable. It's worth it just to get in and say, okay, what can I learn? What can I find out? So my 1 minute word of encouragement, my motivational speech is over. And there you are, Paul.
And there we are. Thank you all.
Snuck that one in.
Thank you all for watching this week's episode of Raptor Chain Reaction. Again, it has been an absolute pleasure to bring this to you. If you haven't already clicked like at the bottom of the video, do that right now. If you did like the video, let us know if there's any topics you would like us to talk about on any of our future Raptor Chain Reaction videos. You can let us know right below, or anything that you think we should change, let us know. Make sure you're following us at Raptoreum. That's on X, at Instagram and Threads. You can also follow us at TikTok. That's at Official Raptoreum. And you can also become a member of this channel if you would like to help us out, progress and grow as a project. That would really be appreciative. Is there anything else we need to say, Hunter, while we're here?
No, I think we're good. I think other than thank you for the support, and comments are appreciated. So please do leave comments.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, guys. We will be back next week, probably around the same time, but it will be the same place for another video. Make sure you are checking us out on Sundays as well. We have Raptoreum live streams that go out every Sunday, and CryptoSmith will be back in January as well. So if you would like to check out some real world assets and what CryptoSmith is doing by connecting, real items to a digital world, that is another interesting thing if you are a brand manager. So I do recommend watching that.
And as you have to explain who CryptoSmith is.
CryptoSmith is
playing the home game.
CryptoSmith creates real items from metal. He's a metalsmith, and then those items are laser scanned and they are placed into a digital format connected to a Raptoreum asset. So then these assets can then be populated in various areas on the internet, such as websites, such as games, anything like that. So it's bringing the old into the new, and this is totally connected to what we're talking about today. For example, the fashion, the old drawings of fashion and things like that, they can certainly have the same sort of use case that Jesse Lambert at Bit Knives is currently working on with the CryptoSmith video. So absolutely go and check that out, guys, and we will be back next week for another video. Catch you later.
See you soon. Cheers.